Good morning. It's 3 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Erin's out for the day. Give you guys inside behind the curtain details. Erin's behind the velvet rope life is on the way. But in the meantime, Matt's got news today. What's up, man?
A 9-year-old boy was shot last night. We'll have that. Last day for qualifying today. We'll have some updated information on that. And remember the little spat between the governor and
Jeff
the
Landry.
AG?
More there?
Yeah, we had a little more from the governor on that last night.
Did you hear our conversation yesterday with Dr. Jeff Sato from LSU Shreveport? A rather, in some circles, incendiary, a few incendiary remarks about tops we will replay because that was later in the show. Fletcher, sports, traffic, and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
A 9-year-old boy and 20-year-old man are recovering after being shot Thursday night in Shreveport. According to police, the shooting happened on West Canal Boulevard in the Sunset Acres neighborhood. Police believe the pair were shot as they sat in their home. The boy was shot twice in the leg, the man once in the foot. Today is the final day to qualify to run for political office in Shreveport in the mayor's race. So far, current mayor Ollie Tyler, Leo Savage, Tremikius Dixon, Stephen Jackson, Adrian Perkins, Jaron Rogers, Jim Talaferro, and John Paul Young have qualified. In the city council race, dozens of candidates have thrown their hat into the ring. However, Stephanie Lynch, the current council person for District F, has yet to qualify. You can see the full updated list at KeelNews.com. It's going to be a hot one. Becca Dill lets you know how bad it's going to get this weekend.
It's going to be extraordinarily hot across Louisiana.
That's Barry Keim, who says we're looking at temperatures in the mid-90s to triple digits for the next 4 days, with heat indexes easily clearing 100. Keim says it'll be hotter than that heat wave that hit a few weeks back.
This could very well be the worst weather we've seen, all season.
So if you're an outdoorsman or an athlete,
Bottom line, be smart, stay hydrated, avoid long periods in the sun, and dial back your exercise a bit.
Keim says the intense heat should be over by Tuesday. I'm Becca Dill.
At least 11 people have died in a boating accident in Branson, Missouri. The boat was riding tourists around Table Rock Lake when stormy weather caused it to capsize and sink. Some of the victims are said to be children. Authorities in the area are still searching for several passengers who are missing. A Shreveport man has been arrested for neglecting the care for his wife. Caddo Parish Sheriff's deputies have arrested Johnny Essery after they discovered his wife Alice unresponsive and severely malnourished on their couch. Governor John Bell Edwards has responded with a letter of his own after Attorney General Jeff Landry criticized the governor for allegedly refusing to go through with executions in the state. Edwards responded by saying that executions are not being carried out because the only drugs that the legislature has authorized for lethal injection haven't been accessible since 2010.
It's a statutory prescribed manner of death, and we have certain drugs that we have to use, and they are absolutely not available.
Landry responded to the governor's new letter on Twitter last night saying, quote, This is simple. I support the death penalty by lethal injection, gas, hanging, firing squad. Does the governor? The White House says discussions are already underway to invite Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington. Trump and Putin met Monday in Helsinki, and Trump later tweeted that the two leaders conferred on a range of issues, including terrorism, Israeli security, and North Korea. Trump has been under fire for publicly doubting during a joint news conference Russia's responsibility for interference in the 2016 election. Alvis Cyrus has died after a motorcycle crash with police. Webster Parish deputies attempted to pull Cyrus over for a traffic violation just before 10 p.m. Cyrus instead sped away, turning off his headlight so the deputy could not follow. A short time later, a motorcycle crash was reported. With his headlight off, Cyrus apparently missed a turn and hit several trees. And first, he stole her heart, then he stole her car. Police in Memphis say a man swiped his date's whip and then whipped over to another woman's house to take her out. The two-time victim of the two-timing car thief reported to police that her car was stolen after the man sent her into a gas station to get him some cigars. While she was inside, he took off with her ride. However, date number 2 knew date number 1 and ratted out the man as they were taking in a movie at the drive-in. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Ten past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot today. The high of 105 will break the record of 101 last reached in 2000. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 12 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Erin's gone today. I'm not sure what the deal is, but I assume she's recovering from her
major car accident.
Her car meets deer mishap. And I think she was looking to take a day.
No kidding. It literally was a dent and a busted headlight.
Yeah, I was. The way she made it sound was it was a NASCAR wreck at 200 miles an hour. If you were here yesterday, you know she talked about, well, like was coming back from Marshall and on that stretch of Highway 80, which is literally, and I mean this in a nice way. It's a great stretch of highway, but it's the middle of nowhere right before you get on I-20. And a deer darts out and she hits the deer, and it totaled her car, in her words. And then we went and looked at it, and it's like a little fender thing. And
I bet that deer barely had a bruise.
Deer walked away, dusts himself off, said, I need a clean pair of pants.
Damn, I need to walk this off.
More on Erin's tragic mishap later. Yesterday in the 8 o'clock hour, we had a chat with Dr. Jeff Sato from LSUS. And I think it's safe to say we talked about tops, which we've had a lot of interesting conversations on that topic over the last, couple of years. And I think it's fair to say the consensus from people who are, we need to fund tops at any cost. By the way, that any cost right now is $300 million a year. I'm going to say that again. Tops annually, the state of Louisiana spends $300 million a year on tops. And as I've said before, there is nothing over the last quarter century of American history to lead anyone to believe that the cost of a college education is going to go down. So the question we have asked repeatedly is, how much is enough? How much is too much? Is $300 million a year on tops, is that enough? Is it too much? 3.25, 3.5, it's going to be $400 million a year before you know it. Where do we draw the line? Well, one of the assumptions about tops is, and one of the go-to arguing points by tops proponents is, we need to fund tops because it keeps Louisiana's best and brightest right here in Louisiana. Well, Dr. Jeff, did I hear a noise from your side of the table?
Well, just before we get to Dr. Jeff, Dr. Matt Parker said the same things you're going to hear from Dr. Jeff.
And I will pat you on the back for that. So Dr. Jeff, he sort of wrote a column. He wrote an op-ed for The Advocate in Baton Rouge.
I still think he plagiarized me, but go ahead.
And he sort of cast a lot of aspersions, or is it dispersions? He cast a lot of doubt on that theory, and that was where we started off. Everybody assumes that TOPS keeps the best and the brightest of Louisiana students right here in school, in college, in Louisiana. Is that legit?
If you define best and brightest in a very broad sense, then I guess that statement would be true. But if, as I think most people would do, if you limit it to a very small portion, the very highest achievers, then no, TOPS doesn't really do that at all.
Really? So is TOPS just a $300 million? Is it worth the $300 million annually we're spending?
Well, it depends on what you think is a good deal here. I mean, if you look at the standards, they are actually in terms of GPA. You get two things: you get a GPA in high school, and then standardized test score. GPA is pretty unchallenging to make, and then as far as the ACT score, which is typically the one used to judge this, the minimum amount in Louisiana that you would have to hit in order to qualify by law is actually currently lower than the national average. So, we're not looking at very high achieving students. We're looking at average, at least towards the bottom, average at best. So, again, if you want to take taxpayer dollars and pay for very average at best students, and a number of them, because again, there are many more there towards the bottom of the list than the top. Then if you think that's worthwhile, then I guess you'd say it's worth the money.
But you've got to admit that some of those top achievers decide to stay in Louisiana because, yes, they're going to get academic awards, but TOPS will cover everything else. they are getting kind of everything paid for, where if they go on a scholarship to UT or Alabama, they are going to have some costs. They're not going to typically get everything paid for.
Yeah, again, it depends, what school we're talking about out of state. And also remember that TOPS doesn't pay for everything. It only pays for tuition. It doesn't pay for fees. And you look at this year's numbers, like at LSU, it's close to $1,000 you'd be paying in fees on top of TOPS. So it doesn't pay for everything. And that would be the case perhaps at another out-of-state school. But, when we talk about the very highest achievers, basically, in-state, out-of-state, private school, whatever, they often can write their own ticket. So to them, TOPS is irrelevant.
Here is the one sentence from your article that keeps jumping out at me, and it literally flies in the face of everything that everybody says, or at least everybody who loves their TOPS. It flies in the face of everything that everybody says about TOPS. Quoting you, fully funding TOPS does next to nothing to prevent brain drain because the vast majority of TOPS recipients don't represent high achievers. That is basically what you just said that, but expound a little bit more on that TOPS isn't really keeping our best at home.
Yeah, sure. If we look at the people towards the bottom of the list, and just to give an idea of what it's like, the top quarter of TOPS recipients, the average ACT score is around 27, 28. Again, right now, if you're looking at the bottom level, it's more like 20, 21. So with those kinds of students, and you compare out-of-state versus in-state tuition, it's not even close. You'd be paying 2, 3, 4 times the amount, depending upon where you want to go, in tuition out-of-state than in-state. So, TOPS, again, is going to cover mostly, not fees, but mostly what you're going to pay. If you stay in-state, you'd pay far more going out-of-state. So, it's simply irrelevant when it comes to that kind of student.
And yet the political and cultural zeitgeist here in the state is that TOPS must be maintained, must be funded at any cost, given, take a look at the last special session, right? We spend $300 million a year on TOPS. How much is enough? How much is too much?
Yeah, that's the question policymakers have to face. Again, for example, you look at Texas A&M. Regular admission there would require an ACT score that only the top quarter of TOPS recipients can even meet. And so, if you say, all right, well, that's where we want to put the cutoff for those kinds of students, that high of achievement level, then TOPS only costs $75 million a year. But it's the other 225 or almost that payment. You've got to think about this. All right, these are average at best students, a lot of them, and so is that really the best expenditure of taxpayer dollars to subsidize this?
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Ruben's ready.
Looks like I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
23 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Southland Conference coaches and sports information directors voted Northwestern State 8 out of 11 schools in the football preseason poll. They neglected the Demons completely on the all-conference team. Sam Houston State is the favorite to win the league title. The SEC preseason poll and all-conference picks will be released today. American Kevin Kistner was really close to the claret jug after last year's British Open, literally. He flew home on the same private jet as winner Jordan Spieth, who traveled back to the States with the famed trophy on board. The 33rd ranked player in the world is close again this year after posting an opening round 5 under par to lead after 18 holes. Rory McIlroy was 2 under, Ricky Fowler 1 under, Tiger Woods even after the first round at Carnoustie. The second round is underway. The first-place Houston Astros open the second half of play tonight in Anaheim against the Angels after the 4-day All-Star break. Texas hosts Cleveland. The Cubs and Cardinals jump-started the action with a game last night to make up for a rained-out game earlier this season. Chicago won last night 9-6. In plain dealings, two-time state champion girls basketball coach has resigned to take another position with Bossier Parish Schools. Sheila Bryant Dupree stepped down, according to the Times' Jimmy Watson. She led the Lady Lions to back-to-back titles in 2011 and 2012. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
25 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, who is out today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she went to see Maggio. I don't know how bad her back was from the auto mishap, the minor auto mishap, although in some minds it would be described as
total obliviation.
I'm trying to think of the worst car wreck I can think. Have you ever been in a bad car wreck?
I
mean, a bad one.
In high school, my buddy had a Firebird whose tire blew out, and we rolled over like 7 times. But nobody got hurt. And if I could do that once a week and know I wasn't going to get hurt, I would do it. It was fun as hell.
I won't even get on I won't get on a roller coaster that goes upside down. You know that one at Six Flags that does like the loop? No, because I get to the top, the apogee of the loop. And it's literally, anybody that doesn't like this feeling, you'll know exactly what I mean. It seems like you're going through the loop at like what? It's 40 miles an hour. I mean, really fast. But it always seems that as I'm starting to go upside down, everything starts to slow down.
You get hit with those G's.
And right when we're at the top, at the apogee of the loop, and I'm upside down, I swear to you, I can feel my spine separating. I'm not joking. I have a 1 o'clock tee time for golf today.
You gonna die.
The high today is supposed to be 103,
I think.
Well, that's not bad.
Well, here's the thing. Right now, it's like the perfect climate to kill people.
Wait. What?
Well, according to like all the weather people or whatever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I looked at the weather last night for today, and when it had the high temperature for the day, it had It had a red exclamation point next to it.
Well, here's the deal. This is according to the National Weather Service guy, Barry Keim or whatever, but it's like the perfect storm of murder from the sun because there's no cloud cover whatsoever.
Yes.
The temperatures are hot to begin with.
Humidity's like being underwater.
And the humidity is at like record highs, so it's like all these things
and Matt came up with this term a couple of days ago, the Saharan mummy dust.
Yeah.
Is that all gone now?
From what I can tell is it's moved out of the area.
Okay, so
we got that going for us.
Sunny today. Not a cloud between here and Atlanta or here and Albuquerque. The high today will be like 103.
With a heat index somewhere between 110 and 120. Have fun.
Hand me my niblick. 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin's out today. Matt, local news up next. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
At least 11 people have died in a boating accident in Branson, Missouri. The boat was riding tourists around Table Rock Lake when stormy weather caused it to capsize and sink. Some of the victims are said to be children. Authorities in the area are still searching for several passengers who are missing. A 9-year-old boy and 20-year-old man are recovering after being shot Thursday night in Shreveport. According to police, the shooting happened on West Canal Boulevard in the Sunset Acres neighborhood. Police believe the pair were shot as they sat in their home. The boy was shot twice in the leg, the man once in the foot. It's going to be really hot over the next few days. Temperatures are expected to sit in the mid-90s to low triple digits across the state through Tuesday as a high-pressure system blows any semblance of cloud cover out of the way. State climatologist Barry Keim says those clear skies are going to combine with remarkably high humidity to create almost unbearable conditions.
We're going to have heat index values ranging between 100 and 110 for the next 4 days. So it's going to be an extraordinarily uncomfortable run across South Louisiana, and it's going to be even worse up in North Louisiana, if you can imagine that.
With the heat indexes easily over 100, Louisiana could be facing record temperatures. Alvis Cyrus has died after a motorcycle chase with police. Webster Parish deputies attempted to pull Cyrus over for a traffic violation just before 10 p.m. Cyrus instead sped away, turning off his headlights so deputies could not follow. A short time later, a motorcycle crash was reported. With his headlight off, Cyrus apparently missed a turn and hit several trees. Today is the final day to qualify to run for political office in Shreveport. In the mayor's race so far, current Mayor Ollie Tyler, Leo Savage, Tremekius Dixon, Stephen Jackson, Adrian Perkins, Jaron Rogers, Jim Talaferro, and John Paul Young have qualified. In the city council race, dozens of candidates have thrown their hat in the ring. However, Stephanie Lynch, the current councilperson for District F, has yet to qualify. You can see the updated list at KEELnews.com. A Shreveport woman sustained life-threatening injuries after authorities discovered she hadn't left the couch in months. Matt Doyle has that story.
68-year-old Alice Essery was taken to the hospital after the discovery, and Caddo Parish Sheriff spokesperson Cindy Chadwick says the deputy who discovered her called it the worst he's ever seen.
She had severe wounds. She was malnourished. She was at least 50 pounds underweight.
Her husband, 66-year-old Johnny Essery, allegedly was fully aware of the situation but didn't reach out to anyone because,
according to him, she did not want to call help herself, nor did she want anybody to call help for her.
He's been charged with cruelty to a person with infirmities. I'm Matt Doyle.
Governor John Bel Edwards has responded with a letter of his own after Attorney General Jeff Landry criticized the governor for allegedly refusing to go through with executions in the state. Edwards says his office hasn't received any communication from the AGs in over a year.
The last communication on this at all was in October of last year. So none of this makes sense, and I think the Attorney General ought to take a deep breath and just calm down a little bit.
Landry responded to the governor last night on Twitter, saying, quote, "This is simple. I support the death penalty by lethal injection, gas, hanging, and firing squad." Does the governor? And the White House says discussions are already underway to invite Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington. Trump and Putin met Monday in Helsinki, and Trump later tweeted that the two leaders conferred on a range of issues, including terrorism, Israeli security, and North Korea. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Message and data rates may
And I think what happens in politics is, if there's somebody who down the line might be your opponent, you get into a fight over something small early on to see what their strategies are. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin, 636. I'm talking about now, there's this sort of back and forth between Governor John Bel Edwards and State Attorney General Jeff Landry.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with capital punishment, but does it really? I mean, does it really?
It started over when Landry first took over, they were fighting over one thing, and just seems like any time an issue comes up, they're at odds and they're just sparring with each other.
Why would that be? Why would that be?
Well, there is an election coming up.
Well, one, I literally think what I just said a couple of seconds ago. You get into a little fight with somebody so you can see what they do and how they react and what their people do and what their strategies are.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, we both know that the two big names to run against John Bel next year are John Kennedy and AG Jeff Landry.
Both guys who like trading barbs with the governor.
And I got to tell you, and I've said this 100 times, and I really, really, really believe this. I don't know why anybody would not want to be and continue to be for as long as you can a United States senator.
Especially Mr. John. He's on every television show doing jokes for half an hour.
He's awesome. CNN has him on, and he bats, and you know because they just hate him on CNN. And yet they have him on repeatedly because he's so good, and he swats them aside in such a benevolent yet brilliantly put down manner.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why would you want to give that up? You're on America's dime. How much work does a senator really do?
You get to see the world.
Compared to governor. I mean, governor's hard. Imagine how difficult being the governor. Governor of Louisiana is not a good job.
And everybody questions every decision you ever make.
It's a hard job. Now, back to this little back and forth, tete-a-tete, sparring match. Tiff, good, between John Bell and Jeff Landry over the kind of over the capital punishment thing. In wrapping up the segment, we'll just play the promo from yesterday because we kind of touched on this yesterday and gave more details on what the actual fight is about. Not that it really matters because you really can't do anything about it. Neither side can really. It's all up to the legislature eventually. But Erin's joke about this yesterday was awesome.
1017 FM and 710 KEEL with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Weekday mornings, 6 till 9.
Is it a tiff between Governor John Bell Edwards and State Attorney General Jeff Landry? What's the deal? And it has to do...
So they're in this, what do men do when they get in a dispute?
They have a throwing contest.
That's what they're having. They're having a throwing contest.
I'm here for you.
And they both want to know whose ball is bigger.
Start your day with Robert and Erin in the morning. 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Told you it was a great joke.
It is.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, 639. Ruben's here.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot today. The high of 105 will break the record of 101, last reached in 2000. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
I mean, do I have a not? I don't want to say your vote doesn't matter. I just ask your advice.
It was definitely an interesting turn of events yesterday after given the past week or so.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Erin's out today, so out of the blue yesterday. I mean, you guys are here every day, so you've been following along with the sort of, I don't want to say back and forth between Miss Erin down at her end of the gopher-shaped broadcast table and City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch. I don't want to get back into the texts, but it had to do with the funding or lack of funding or turning down the funding for the Shreveport Urban Film Festival. Well, when I tell you, we did not plan. I mean, Miss Stephanie showed up yesterday morning at about 8:30 or 8:35.
We were talking to Dr. Jeff, and the receptionist comes in and
says Stephanie Lynch is in the lobby.
Yeah.
So Stephanie came in, and she and Erin kind of chatted between themselves for a couple of minutes, and then we went on the radio, and here's where I picked it up. This is an interesting turn of events. Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch is here in studio.
She kicked the door in.
But in a delicate and dainty ladylike way.
Yes, she did.
Okay,
I'm joking.
So I'm just going to kind of set this up, and then I'm going to let you two BFFs hash this thing out.
Hang on a minute now.
No, you can handle this. Basically, you two have been somewhat verbally at odds over the last couple of days over the fallout from the city council vote for the $10,000 for, her name was Tanisha Morris, and the Shreveport Urban Film Festival.
Right.
And a couple of texts from Ms. Lynch that you kind of rubbed you the wrong way. You may have taken offense to, and a couple of things that Erin said back on the radio that Miss Stephanie maybe kind of said, what the hell are you talking about? So you're both here. You're both in the same room.
You put us close together, too.
You're sitting next to each other.
This could turn into Springer.
So who would like to go first? Who has the first question and or the first statement about what has happened?
Well, I just came by to give Robin, Erin. I don't even know your name.
You'd be amazed how many people call me either Robin or Roger. Okay? For the next 4 or 5 minutes, Robin or Roger is not here. This is between you and Arnold down there on the end.
Leave her alone.
Well, I wasn't sure if we needed a group hug. I just wanted to just come by and, and see you. And
yeah, we have a mutual goal for what's best for Shreveport. I think that would be very obvious. We're both very passionate. I took offense by the quote that says, I'm squarely holding you all responsible for inciting a white mob against this young lady. And we're talking about the Urban Film Festival. If I incited a white mob, I hope you know me well enough to know that was not my intent. That's all I would hope you would know.
Okay.
So let me start here. So what was it about what we or Erin said in reference to the Shreveport Urban Film Festival that motivated you to send that?
Well, I think the original arguments were saying that it was segregated, it was discriminatory. I don't know if you all said that, but that was certainly part of the discussion, which was not true. And that kind of took a life of its own, and then it morphed into the timetable, and is there something else going on behind the scenes? Just a lot of innuendos. No one called me to ask me anything, but it's just a lot of misinformation that I think took a life of its own, and we know that there are certain...
Those were pretty strong words.
Well, there are certain people who, if you feed them red meat, they're on it all day.
You bet.
And I just thought that some of the conversation was like feeding red meat to a lion. And, that can be pretty dangerous at times, seriously.
And harmful. I get
harmful,
that. You bet.
Not just, to the person, but to the whole. And so when people get incited and they get upset about certain things, it does cause them to behave in bad ways.
Should this whole issue have been handled differently? If you had it to do over again, would you have done it differently?
If I had it to do over again, I think, and I said this morning, that the timetable was close, and partly that's my fault. I accept responsibility for that because it was my legislation. I wanted to be there. And so, had I been there 2 weeks before, I would have done it then. But I knew that was a meeting I was going to be at. And so I did the legislation then. But we've done legislation like that before, so I didn't think it was an issue, that big of an issue that couldn't be worked around. And so, I took responsibility for that. Because that was more for my schedule than it was, the timing of the event.
And I got emails and texts. I mean, if I could show you all of them, said, but we have to look at the city code, which prohibits spending money on anything that distinguishes between race, sex, gender, etc. How do you respond to that? This would have been city money spent on a festival that had exclusions.
Well, it had qualifications for entry,
okay,
which basically said that at least the producer or the writer had to be an African American, which I thought in a multicultural society, and as I said, I'm the chair of the multicultural committee for the council, that it encouraged partnerships. I mean, I didn't see it any different than saying for a woman-owned business, it has to be owned by a woman 51% or more, because it encourages underrepresented groups and people to be more engaged and involved, and to have those opportunities.
Have you done more discussing, because Robert said you didn't answer my question the other day about who told Tanisha Morris city funding could be available? Was that you?
Well, that's a part of what we do as legislators, is to educate the community on resources. And I said this morning, the city has supported every single festival, from neighborhood festivals to Red River Revel. I mean, from Highland to Southern Hills. This is what we do.
So you heard about her festival and told her, I could probably get you some city funding.
Well, I do reach out when I see that people are trying to do things positively. I've done it a zillion times, or people come to us as well. And
Did she come to you?
Well, I don't really want to, I don't think it's material.
Okay.
Really.
All right.
I don't think it's material. But that happens sometimes.
In wrapping up, Erin said yesterday after reading your texts that she was, in no specific order, she said she was nauseous, she said she was angry, and then she said she wanted to cry. Do you still feel nauseous? Do you still feel angry? Do you still want to cry?
Not really, because I know Stephanie's passionate, and sometimes people will say things that when you put it in a text and you read it, it may not be what she would have said to me face to face, but I understand her point, because when she explained it about the meat to the lions, I get that, I understand that, and that helped. That helped me a little bit. It was harsh. We probably said some harsh things too, and I get that, and I understand.
But
what do you think about, pardon me, Miss Stephanie, once again, what do you think about her coming in here this morning? What do you think that says?
That she cared. She wanted to clear the air, I guess. I would assume.
Yes.
I would assume so. Because I, like I said from jump, all these public officials and all that I deal with, and my phone goes off all morning. I have great respect, because they're not getting rich doing what they're doing. And they spend a lot of their time and a lot of their off hours from their regular jobs doing this, and they're not getting. So I have a lot of respect and admiration for them, and I think she knows that. I would hope anyway, and I think it's mutual in a lot of the cases. So that's kind of where we are. I hope.
1017 FM 710 Keel. Got to look at traffic for Friday morning. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Yeah, we'll talk about Erin's car in a second or two. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 653. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Southland Conference coaches and sports information directors voted Northwestern State 8 out of 11 schools in the football preseason poll. But they neglected the Demons completely on the all-conference team. Sam Houston State is the favorite to win the league title. The SEC preseason poll and all-conference picks will be released today. American Kevin Kistner was really close to the claret jug after last year's British Open, literally. He flew home in the same private jet as winner Jordan Spieth, who traveled back to the States with the famed trophy on board. The 33rd ranked player in the world is close again this year after posting an opening round 5 under par to lead after 18 holes. Rory McIlroy was 2 under, Ricky Fowler 1 under, Tiger Woods even after the first round at Carnoustie. The second round is underway. The first-place Houston Astros open the second half of play tonight in Anaheim against the Angels after the 4-day All-Star break. Texas hosts Cleveland. The Cubs and Cardinals jump-started the action with a game last night to make up for a rained-out game earlier this season. Chicago won last night, 9-6. In plain dealings, two-time state champion girls basketball coach has resigned to take another position with Bossier Parish Schools. Sheila Bryant Dupree stepped down, according to the Times' Jimmy Watson. She led the Lady Lions to back-to-back titles in 2011 and 2012. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
One 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. A little late breaking news in the mayor's race. We'll cover that just after 7 o'clock. And Erin has put on her Facebook page a picture of her damaged vehicle.
I'm loading it up on the Keel page.
We will find out the truth. A dear my ass. 6:56. Here's Rush.
4 liberal states, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Maryland, are suing the Trump administration and demanding more tax cuts. I kid you not. Now, in the old days, not that long ago, people could deduct their high state and local taxes on their federal tax forms, and it was an unlimited deduction. But the new tax law from Trump caps the deduction at $10,000, and many in these states pay way more than $10,000 in local and state taxes. Now, these states, they are really mad that the feds will not subsidize their high taxes anymore. The lawsuit claims that Trump's change will hurt property values and hurt job creation. Worse, it'll hurt state budgets because these taxpayers are going to start paying attention to state spending, which they can't have that. And they're really, really, really mad because they say Republicans did all this on purpose to hurt Democrat-run high-tax states. Now, legally, it's hard to see how they expect to win this one. The feds make federal law, except for immigration. Well, they make it, but everybody breaks it. So until they cut their own taxes, these liberals are going to be singing the blue state blues for a long time to come. I guess it's what happens when the Russians meddle in the elections. Say, folks, last month I told you all about the big savings during Mahindra Dealer Days. Well, I've got some great news. My good friends at Mahindra have extended Dealer Day savings into July. That means it is not too late to hurry into your local Mahindra dealer for incredible summer savings on Mahindra's subcompact, compact, and utility tractors, plus a full line of utility vehicles. And Mahindra's long-lasting powertrain warranties still come standard. So if you missed out last month, don't wait another day. Care for the land you love with the tractors and UTVs that I recommend Mahindra. To learn more about the world's #1 selling tractor and huge dealer day savings, visit MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Kelly Tractor and Equipment in Longview, or visit kellytractor.net. That's kellytractor.net.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Get more breaking news and trending talk at KEELnews.com. KEELnews.com.
Looks like I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning at 7:03. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Miss Erin away today. We will explain We will excuse her absence in a couple of seconds. Matt's got local news in just a moment or two. What's up, man?
A 9-year-old boy was shot in Shreveport. We'll have the details on that. It's going to be excruciatingly hot over the next few days. We'll have some info on that. And there was a big tragedy in Missouri. We'll give you all the details on what's going on there.
A little late breaking news in the mayor's race. Today is the final day for qualifying for all city positions, right?
Yep.
A little late breaking news in the mayor's race. Is it too early? Is it too early for endorsements to matter? We will discuss. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
Injection, gas, hanging, firing squad. Does the governor? From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic for Friday. Ruben's here.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 68.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 11 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Erin away for the day. Back on Monday.
Maybe.
Recovering from her high-speed mishap with the deer in the middle of nowhere, and we'll talk about that just a bit later. Is she really posting car photos?
Oh, yeah. I took a screen grab so she wasn't aware of it and posted it on our Keel page with what she says versus our theory.
There's her story, and then there's what
our working theory.
Our may turn out to be the truth. Is it too early in the Shreveport mayor's race? By the way, Erin was so convinced. Oh, there's going to be a last minute. There's going to be, what do you say, like a midnight surprise or whatever the political term is. And she was so convinced there was going to be some sort of last minute big news in the mayor's race. Somebody was going to get in. Somebody wasn't going to qualify.
The day's not over, to be fair.
But Erin, her big deal was, and I don't know where she got this in her head other than, do you think the mayor, meaning Miss Tyler, do you think the mayor is really going to run? Do you think she's going to change her mind at the last minute? You know, it's what?
I can answer why Erin thinks that, or thought that the mayor wasn't going to qualify.
Why?
Well, when Mayor Ali launched her campaign, she put out a website and a couple of phone numbers, and none of them worked.
Wait, what?
It was like reelectollytyler.com or something. You type that in, this website doesn't exist. And then she had a couple of campaign numbers that you could call if you want to donate or lend a hand, and those numbers didn't work.
Are they up and running now? Are the phone numbers running? Is the website?
Erin had all the numbers and site information, so I haven't checked. But that's where the
so that
Erin's
was where
basis.
she sort of got the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's too early? I mean, if you had two questions, because you know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the endorsement in question is an important one? And do you're pursing your lips, lad?
Well, I'm thinking it through while you're speaking.
Okay. Do you think that this endorsement is an important one? And do you think it is too early for this endorsement? If this is a big endorsement, if you've got somebody that you think really matters, And I think in the scheme of the race, this is kind of a big deal. Do you do it up front? Do you wait until you're 60 days out? Do you do it in the last 30 or 45 days? I don't know what the political strategy or what the sort of what the given move is. What most people would do in that situation, I just don't know.
Well, I guess since the mayoral race is top of mind now, since everybody's talking about who's qualifying and everything else, while people are speaking about the mayoral race, I guess if you had a big endorsement in the bag, ready to go,
and it gives this person in question a long time to publicly work for said endorsed candidate.
Yeah.
Rod Demery has endorsed Leo Savage for mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Rod Demery, TV show, former Shreveport police homicide detective, got the TV show now Murder Chose Me.
Yep.
He was most recently also working for the
Caddo DA's office.
Caddo DA's office, thank you, but gave up that position recently. Republican endorses Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Black guy endorses white guy. You think that matters in the Shreveport mayor's race?
I do. I think it. There will be some, not all, but some in the black community that go, oh, this is a black man endorsing this guy, gives Leo a little credibility.
From the desk of Rod Demery for immediate release. Over the past week, rumors have flared that I was again considering entering the Shreveport mayor's race. That's true. Remember, there was sort of Demery's getting in.
Yep.
Blah, 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 entering the Shreveport mayor's race. During this time, I have received an outpouring of support from both friends and strangers alike. I am humbled. However, I would like to take a moment to dispel those rumors and make it very clear that I will not be entering the 2018 race for Shreveport mayor. Prior to my last announcement, I decided not to run after substantial prayer and reflection. Ultimately, my family and I decided that now would not be an appropriate time to run for mayor. Therefore, my decision is now, as it was then, I will not run. It is time that we as a city, this is from the Demery release, it is time that we as a city embrace new policies and new leadership. I believe that in the current field of candidates, there is an agent of change that can take on the challenges and bring new policies and leadership to Shreveport. That agent of change is Leo Savage. I fully and wholeheartedly endorse Leo Savage's candidacy for mayor, and I encourage that my fellow Shreveporters do the same. With our combined support from all neighborhoods of the city, we can make change happen and can reverse the years of long deterioration of Shreveport. With new policies for fighting crime and growing our economy, we can make Shreveport the city it was always destined to be. We are a city of great resources, a great culture, and most importantly, a strong people. Join me now in supporting Leo Savage for mayor. For Shreveport, Rod.
That's it. You know what that sounds more to me like, and rather than an endorsement? That sounds like a campaign speech.
I would imagine that Mr. Demery will be working wholeheartedly. It says right there. I mean, he lives here.
Well,
it's not like he, you know, most of the episodes of his Murder Chose Me, most of the episodes, if not all, are filmed right here in Shreveport. So it's not like he's out in Hollywood or wherever it happens to be, away from the city. And in fact, if this endorsement carries the weight, and I think it certainly has a lot of weight on the Republican side, then he will be here for the duration of the campaign to put his full efforts behind his endorsed candidate, Mr. Savage.
And Rod also said that somewhere down the line he'd like to be police chief. And Mr. Leo said he would like to hire someone like Rod Demery for police chief. So
yesterday morning, in the 8 o'clock hour, we had a chat with LSU's political science professor, Dr. Jeff Sato. And we will replay that part because we talked about the mayor's race, where it stands now, what might happen, what might not happen, what he sees, who he sees as the early favorites, and who does he see, and this was the surprising part to me, who he sees as the final two in the general election in December. 19 past 7 o'clock. We'll play that next, by the way. 19 past 7 o'clock. Here's KEEL traffic. Ruben's here.
The intersection at Highland Avenue and Olive Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny and very hot today. The high of 105 will break the record of 101 last reached in 2000. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Southland Conference coaches and sports information directors voted Northwestern State 8th out of 11 schools in the football preseason poll. But they neglected the Demons completely on the all-conference team. Sam Houston State is the favorite to win the league title. The SEC preseason poll and all-conference picks will be released today. American Kevin Kistner was really close to the claret jug after last year's British Open, literally. He flew home on the same private jet as winner Jordan Spieth, who traveled back to the States with a famed trophy on board. The 33rd ranked player in the world is close again this year after posting an opening round 5 under par to lead after 18 holes. Rory McIlroy was 2 under, Ricky Fowler 1 under, Tiger Woods even after the first round at Carnoustie. The second round is underway. The first-place Houston Astros open the second half of play tonight in Anaheim against the Angels after the 4-day All-Star break. Texas hosts Cleveland. The Cubs and Cardinals jump-started the action with a game last night to make up for a rained-out game earlier this season. Chicago won last night 9-6. In plain dealings, two-time state champion girls basketball coach has resigned to take another position with Bossier Parish Schools. Sheila Bryant Dupree stepped down, according to the Times' Jimmy Watson. She led the Lady Lions to back-to-back titles in 2011 and 2012. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
FM 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so here's like I would endorsements. It was Oliver Jenkins, councilman, had endorsed Adrian Perkins, and I apologize, I don't have the Caddo commissioners list in front of me that had Perkins endorsements also. And now Rod Demery has endorsed Leo Savage.
That's right.
Now it's Demery. There were lots of rumors that Demery would run for mayor on the Republican side. But he's decided, nope, now ain't the time, and I'm throwing my weight behind the Savage campaign. Yesterday, we chatted with LSU Shreveport political science prof. Dr. Jeff Sato, and that was kind of where we started, was qualifying is underway. In fact, today is the last day. I know it may seem crazy, but you never know. Do you anticipate any last-minute surprises?
No, I'm not. I think, pretty much, you're seeing... It's predictable what you're seeing right now. The people who said they're going to run are running, and if we see names that we haven't seen before, I don't think they're going to be competitive candidates.
What do you anticipate now, as they start electioneering? Is this going to be clean? Is this going to be dirty? Somewhere in between?
I think it'll be somewhere in between. A lot of people clean, dirty. That's relative terms to a lot of people. So I think spirited. We might see some spirited campaigning. It's typically when you've got an incumbent that just doesn't have it entirely wrapped up, you're going to see something like that.
Speaking of that, pardon me, do you recall, and we've brought this up a couple of times on the show, do you recall ever a situation, an election year, when an incumbent mayor, in this case Ms. Tyler, when an incumbent mayor faced such difficult opposition from her own party?
Oh, well, yeah. If you look back in the 90s, when Bo Williams ran 20 years ago for re-election, certainly he got some competition, although his main competition was, of course, from the other party. But in Louisiana's system, there everybody running technically without a primary, just a general election, it would tend to encourage or make more likely those kinds of things to happen. So it's not that surprising, particularly since Shreveport's a now majority Democrat, kind of Back to the Future kind of thing, majority Democrat electorate. Or at least voting electorate. So, yeah, I don't think that's that unusual.
Does Ollie bashing get someone in the runoff, or are you going to have to do more than that?
No, it'll get you there, but you've got to apparently, by definition, bash her better than anybody else to get into the runoff with her. So, when incumbents run, it's usually a good portion of the issues around the election is a referendum on the incumbent. So certainly there's going to be something like that. You're not going to have candidates out there totally ignoring her and just saying, well, this is what I'm going to do, and not make any comparison at all to the current regime, because it's just easier that way to make those kinds of comparisons, to put that in the mind of voters and make it a binary either or kind of thing. So you'll see that. You'll see quite a bit of it.
Bluntly put, Dr. Jeff, are the Republicans in the race at the end of the day going to be anything more than sacrificial lambs for whoever is the leading Democrat candidate?
I don't, at this point, I don't see a Republican candidate or really anybody but a Democrat making the runoff, just kind of given the dynamics of
So pardon me, you think it's going to be Dem versus Dem in the general election?
I think that's the likeliest possibility, yes. Look at the performance of the Republicans the last couple of elections. 8 years ago, you had one that made the runoff, but basically was just slaughtered, and then didn't even make the runoff 4 years ago. So the party in Shreveport or Caddo is not proven to be that robust, at least in mayoral elections recently, and I haven't seen anything that would change that.
Good morning. It's 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Time for traffic update for Friday morning. Ruben's ready.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
At least 11 people have died in a boating accident in Branson, Missouri. The boat was riding tourists around Table Rock Lake when stormy weather caused it to capsize and sink. Some of the victims are said to be children. Authorities in the area are still searching for several passengers who are missing. A 9-year-old boy and 20-year-old man are recovering after being shot Thursday night in Shreveport. According to police, the shooting happened on West Canal Boulevard in the Sunset Acres neighborhood. Police believe the pair were shot as they sat in their home. The boy was shot twice in the leg, the man once in the foot. It's going to be really hot over the next few days. Temperatures are expected to sit in the mid-90s to low triple digits across the state through Tuesday as a high-pressure system blows any semblance of cloud cover out of the way. State climatologist Barry Keim says those clear skies are going to combine with remarkably high humidity to create almost unbearable conditions.
We're going to have heat index values ranging between 100 and 110 for the next 4 days. So it's going to be an extraordinarily uncomfortable run across South Louisiana, and it's going to be even worse up in North Louisiana, if you can imagine that.
With the heat indexes easily over 100, Louisiana could be facing record temperatures. Alvis Cyrus has died after a motorcycle chase with police. Webster Parish deputies attempted to pull Cyrus over for a traffic violation just before 10 p.m. Cyrus instead sped away, turning off his headlights so deputies could not follow. A short time later, a motorcycle crash was reported. With his headlight off, Cyrus apparently missed a turn and hit several trees. Today is the final day to qualify to run for political office in Shreveport. In the mayor's race so far, current Mayor Ollie Tyler, Leo Savage, Tremikius Dixon, Stephen Jackson, Adrian Perkins, Jaron Rogers, Jim Talaferro, and John Paul Young have qualified. In the city council race, dozens of candidates have thrown their hat in the ring. However, Stephanie Lynch, the current councilperson for District F, has yet to qualify. You can see the updated list at KEELnews.com. A Shreveport woman sustained life-threatening injuries after authorities discovered she hadn't left the couch in months. Matt Doyle has that story.
68-year-old Alice Essery was taken to the hospital after the discovery, and Caddo Parish Sheriff spokesperson Cindy Chadwick says the deputy who discovered her called it the worst he's ever seen.
She had severe wounds. She was malnourished. She was at least 50 pounds underweight.
Her husband, 66-year-old Johnny Essery, allegedly was fully aware of the situation but didn't reach out to anyone because,
according to him, she did not want to call help herself, nor did she want anybody to call help for her.
He's been charged with cruelty to a person with infirmities. I'm Matt Doyle.
Governor John Bel Edwards has responded with a letter of his own after Attorney General Jeff Landry criticized the governor for allegedly refusing to go through with executions in the state. Edwards says his office hasn't received any communication from the AGs in over a year.
The last communication on this at all was in October of last year. So none of this makes sense, and I think the Attorney General ought to take a deep breath and just calm down a little bit.
Landry responded to the governor last night on Twitter, saying, quote, "This is simple. I support the death penalty by lethal injection, gas, hanging, and firing squad." Does the governor? And the White House says discussions are already underway to invite Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington. Trump and Putin met Monday in Helsinki, and Trump later tweeted that the two leaders conferred on a range of issues, including terrorism, Israeli security, and North Korea. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Miss Erin away for the day. Her story is I guess she's got to get her car fixed. Her back is bad. She had this mishap on the highway with an animal she claims was a deer. I think it might have been some sort of weird casino mishap, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah, if you want to see the damage to her vehicle.
Oh, God. It's a disaster.
Yeah, the totaled car. You can check it out on our KEEL Facebook page, and you can let us know what your theory about what really happened is.
That's interesting you say that. Would you read for us from the KEEL Facebook page, since you took the time to put up the post on the Facebook page, would you read what you wrote below the photograph of the damaged vehicle?
Well, I wrote, Erin says she hit a deer and needed the day off. We think she might have had a bit of a mishap at a local casino parking garage.
She has been there a great deal recently.
What do you think happened? Do you think Erin really hit a deer?
You drop a quick $5, you might get a little emotional coming down the hill off the ramp.
That's
crying. All I'm saying. Now, I had suggested yesterday, and I don't know if there's any validity to it, if she'll really do this. I had said, look, you got some pretty good damage to the car. What I'm thinking you should do is basically go to one of the hail damage places, because there's still a lot of those set up. They've got their tent set up. You pull in with your mashed headlight, and your bumper is kind of just dragging, and the guy looks at you and goes, "What the hell?" And you say, "Look, my insurance company said I had up to a year. It was a hailstone the size of a medicine ball. Can you help me out?" I'm thinking that's the way to go. But if you'd like to look at the damage,
the wreckage.
My God, it's a mess. If you'd like to...
That poor deer. He's got one hell of a bruise this morning.
What did you say? He dusted off his pants and walked away. So it's on the KEEL Facebook page. Take a look. Feel free to comment. We'll read some of those just a bit later. 739, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Ruben.
The intersection at Olive Street and Line Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on McDade Street near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Oh, my back. Ow, ow, ow. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 741. Miss Erin away today. Matt, during the break, he had an awesome idea. He said, since Erin's, her back was starting to bother her, she said yesterday, and she was going to make a chiropractor run, a chiropractor visit, and have him take a look, because of the mishap with the deer that suffered, like a stubbed toe when it hit her car.
It was the deer. It was like when a 4-year-old hits your shin with a big wheel. That's kind of what happened here.
or a hot wheel. Okay, so Erin is out today getting her car fixed, and her back was bothering her yesterday. She sort of hobbled out, and Matt said, "You know what we need to play? It's the old KVKI bit when she. If you don't know I don't want to give it away in the setup, but giving it away in the setup doesn't hurt the bit."
Well, you could just put it like this. Erin has a history of hurting herself in odd ways.
Erin has a history of back trouble. This is me and Erin and Dr. Jason Maggio, our chiropractor. And in the middle, this is going back a couple of years, and you'll hear him make reference to Kendrick Ferris, the Olympic weightlifter, because Jason trains Kendrick and continues to do so today, as a matter of fact, because his Olympic future, I don't want to say is up in the air, but there is every possibility he may make a run for the weightlifting title in the next Olympics. So you'll hear reference to that, just to give you sort of a frame of reference, if you will. And as Matt said, it never ceases to amaze the way that Erin damages herself, and Jason is in studio at her request to suggest a treatment. So, did she call you yesterday, or did you just find out about this little malfunction when you came in this morning and sat down?
I received a call yesterday.
What did she say when she called?
Worst back pain ever.
She said that.
I found out the details this morning.
Hang on just a second. If you're going to giggle, you have to lean.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So she called the details.
You guys are. This is the most amazing story. So she calls you yesterday, and she says, "I've never been in such agony."
That's correct.
Were there tears?
Not that I know of.
Oh, she's so brave, though. So she comes in this morning, and she's got, like, making Popeye noises. And she sits down in the chair and talks about how bad her back is. And then you come in about, what, 6:45 or so?
6:45.
And she starts talking about how bad her back is.
That's right.
And she says, finally, "I've got a theory."
That's right.
About how I hurt my back.
She sure did.
Would you like to share with
Let him
everyone
do it, whatever.
her theory about how she messed her back up? You guys, listen to this now. This is an Olympic competitor's chiropractor talking, and this is what she told him.
I must admit, I do like this one. I hear different things throughout the day. But
Never heard this?
Never heard this.
Oh.
She leans back and says, "What I think it was my pedicure."
I'm not joking. Nobody's told you that before?
Never.
So Kendrick Ferris, Olympic competitor. All of the athletes that you treat on I would say, 2-3 time weekly basis.
Sure.
They've never come into the office. You've never gone, and they've just been tore up. You go, dude, you look horrible. What happened? And they looked up and said, pedicure. That's never happened?
Never happened. I've heard, Kendrick with the 500 pounds above his head. I've heard of that one.
We're coming to that.
Moving fridges
so
and
she's
stuff like that.
talking about, she said, when I went to get the pedicure, and, they've got that real comfy,
cushy leather chair.
Mm-hmm. And I think when I lifted my feet up, I may have done something to my back. Now, here's my first question. Is that possible?
It is possible. Heavy toes. Heavy toes.
Heavy toes.
So then we start talking about
my toes.
So then we start talking about U.S. Olympic weightlifter, the guy you work with, Kendrick Ferris. You're getting ready to go to the Olympics. And Erin says, well, what competitions, what events will he be in? He'll be competing in 2 events.
That's right, the clean and jerk and the snatch.
And I said, do you know how the snatch works? And Erin says, not really. I said, that's the one where.
Okay.
He bends over, grabs like how much? About 5?
A little over 5, actually.
500 plus pounds.
Are you serious?
Now, that's not the one. The clean and jerk is where he comes to the chin.
Okay.
And then up.
Okay.
The snatch is where he just literally kind of jumps and throws.
Arms straight out.
Up over his head.
Oh, my.
Now.
That's like lifting 4 of you.
You figure between the lifting, the motion, the stress, the force, the little jump, and the effort of lifting 500. There is force on his back.
Oh.
What would you think? 7, 8?
Yeah, that's about right.
Maybe 800 or 900 pounds.
Cool. What do you do for him? Can you do things before and after and during, I guess, huh?
I keep him away from pedicures.
That was going to be my point.
Oh, God.
This is a man who deals with Olympic athletes on a daily basis. And you tell him...
My toes are prettier than his. Can we be serious for a minute, please?
No. Man needs a little stress relief.
Yeah, I know.
How much more stress relief could there be? Yes, please.
Okay, you're going to be working with him the whole time he's there. When is he competing, and when's D-Day for him?
August the 3rd. It'll be 1:00 p.m. here, 7 o'clock in London on August the 3rd.
So that's prime time on the... Now,
Yeah.
the question that I had, and you answered it, Erin said, how close will you be to all this? Will you, as his...
One of his trainers, I guess?
Trainers, chiropractors. You are down in what I call the Bella Caroli chair. You are right next to the action and everything. How much work are you allowed to do on an Olympic athlete during the event?
That's a great question. It's really up to him because, like we were talking earlier, it's about the psychological issues that go into the Olympian's head. So if he feels that something's out, I'll adjust it. If he doesn't, I'll leave him alone.
Now, does he have any weird superstitions like, you can't touch me before 5 minutes before does he have some
Pretty
little
much.
freaky
He
things?
puts his music in. You don't touch him when his music earbuds is in the ear. I'll leave him alone. So that's basically it. When I see the earbuds
basically
in the ear,
at that
Because he
level.
could squash you like a bug, right?
Oh, real easy.
He's how tall?
He's about 5'8", but I look up to him. I'm taller, but I look up to him.
And how much does he weigh?
He's about 86 kilos, so he's a 187.
And his body
Serious?
fat percentage is...
Wait a
Around
minute.
6 or 7.
7%. Yeah.
Wait a minute. A 186-pound guy is going to lift 500 pounds?
Can you believe that?
That's not physically possible.
Neither is hurting your back during a pedicure.
This is the best
But
day.
it happens.
This is the
Oh, God.
This is the best day of my...
Oh,
You know
man.
what? If pedicure was an Olympic event...
I would win it.
1017 FM 710 Keel, Robert and Erin 748. A quick look at traffic and weather right now. Here's Ruben on Keel.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies. Low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Oh, when I kiss.
.752, time for Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Southland Conference coaches and sports information directors voted Northwestern State 8th out of 11 schools in the football preseason poll. They neglected the Demons completely on the all-conference team. Sam Houston State is the favorite to win the league title. The SEC preseason poll and all-conference picks will be released today. American Kevin Kistner was really close to the claret jug after last year's British Open, literally. He flew home on the same private jet as winner Jordan Spieth, who traveled back to the States with a famed trophy on board. The 33rd ranked player in the world is close again this year after posting an opening round 5 under par to lead after 18 holes. Rory McIlroy was 2 under, Ricky Fowler 1 under, Tiger Woods even after the first round at Carnoustie. The second round is underway. The first-place Houston Astros open the second half of play tonight in Anaheim against the Angels after the 4-day All-Star break. Texas hosts Cleveland. The Cubs and Cardinals jump-started the action with a game last night to make up for a rained-out game earlier this season. Chicago won last night 9-6. In plain dealings, two-time state champion girls basketball coach has resigned to take another position with Bossier Parish Schools. Sheila Bryant Dupree stepped down, according to the Times' Jimmy Watson. She led the Lady Lions to back-to-back titles in 2011 and 2012. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Wait. Did you just go, ugh, the Spinners?
No, I said, ugh, I should have ditched the Spinners since she's not here.
This is awesome. Rubber Band Man's awesome. Hand me down my walking cane, hand me down my hat. Greatest lyrics of all time.
I don't have a problem with the Spinners. Erin's just killed them for me.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, she away for the day. You got a lot of great feedback yesterday. You had put a post on the website at keelnews.com. Basically, to summarize in a sentence, Shreveport does not appreciate nor celebrate its vast and rich musical history.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the website. It's what is it, about 1,500 words, something like that?
It's like 800.
It's pretty darn good. It's a good 8th grade term paper. The point is this: you have received praise from far and wide and a variety of sources about what a great article it was and what And what a great point you made. Do you have any of those off the top of your head or in front of you can share?
I don't have them in front of me, but one fella that reached out runs some musical preservation group, and he was like, hey, man, I really enjoy it. We should talk sometime. There's been a few political people that are like, that's a good point. We should look into that.
Now, what did he mention that sort of as another guy who feels that we as Shreveport, as Arkla Tejanos, don't appreciate our Mexican heritage, don't appreciate our musical heritage, parapraxis, my friend.
Yes.
That we do not appreciate our musical heritage. What has he done about that? He shared something with you.
Yeah, he's got let me pull it up. He runs the Norla Preservation Project. This gentleman, Winston, and they're having like a little pop-up museum symposium coming up where he's going to be showing off pieces of musical history from our city. So that's kind of cool.
Like what? Does he list anything?
He doesn't have any list that I can see, and I don't remember the date offhand.
Winston,
but,
get back to us. You
yeah.
did it on the KEEL Facebook page. Let us know what's going to be there. We'd like to talk about this. Another guy who looks at it the way you do. 757, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Sean Hannity.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Investors Business Daily raised an important question. Democrats insisting the Russia plot to hack the DNC email servers is the equivalent of Pearl Harbor and 9/11. And so how come they don't seem to care that a foreign entity, maybe it was China, maybe Iran, North Korea, apparently not Russia, managed to hack into Hillary's private server and obtain classified and top secret information on her server? Nobody ever seems to raise that question. If that is not the biggest double standard, I don't know what is. It's interesting. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, said yesterday that China, not Russia, poses the biggest intelligence threat to America, pointing out that Beijing has hacked into computer systems of just about every industry in the country.
The Sean Hannity Show, from coast to coast, later today.
What interest rate would you rather pay on your credit card debt? 17% or less than 6% APR? The answer is obvious, Lightstream. Because with Lightstream, you may be able to consolidate credit card debt and dramatically cut your interest rate to as low as 5.89% APR with AutoPay. Plus, radio listeners get an additional rate discount. Just go to lightstream.com/better. With average interest rates on credit card debt at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands in interest. And because Lightstream is a division of SunTrust Bank, one of the nation's largest and strongest financial institutions, you can have complete peace of mind. The application takes just minutes, and there are no fees and no pressure. Just lower rates, one low fixed monthly payment, and huge savings. So if you have good credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount when you go to lightstream.com/better. That's lightstream.com/better. Lightstream.com/better.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.5% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com.
Just received reports of an accident in the left-hand lane of I-20 westbound near Airline Drive. It's starting to back traffic up right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin. She's away for the day. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel in her chair, in her stead, in her place. Matt has local news up next.
Tragic event in Missouri. We'll be talking about that. Last night, a 9-year-old boy was shot in Shreveport. We got some of that. And we have an update on who's qualified and in some of our local elections.
You know, we're going to broaden our little chat from last hour. Does Shreveport not appreciate its history, its past? Do we not pay enough respect to those who came before, not only in music, because that's kind of what we were talking about, but in any number of fields? And Louis R. Avalone, Caddo Parish Republican Party boss, talks with us in about 20 minutes about the Rod Demery endorsement of Leo Savage. Traffic and weather, sports, it's all coming up this hour, and it's here, and it's on Keel.
Of information. Keel News now.
A 9-year-old boy and 20-year-old man are recovering after being shot Thursday night in Shreveport. According to police, the shooting happened on West Canal Boulevard in the Sunset Acres neighborhood. Police believe the pair were shot as they sat in their home. The boy was shot twice in the leg, the man once in the foot. Today is the final day to qualify to run for political office in Shreveport in the mayor's race. So far, current Mayor Ollie Tyler, Leo Savage, Tremikius Dixon, Stephen Jackson, Adrian Perkins, Jaron Rogers, Jim Talaferro, and John Paul Young have qualified. In the city council race, dozens of candidates have thrown their hat into the ring. However, Stephanie Lynch, the current council person for District F, has yet to qualify. You can see the full updated list at KeelNews.com. It's going to be a hot one. Becca Dill lets you know how bad it's going to get this weekend.
It's going to be extraordinarily hot across Louisiana.
That's Barry Keim, who says we're looking at temperatures in the mid-90s to triple digits for the next 4 days, with heat indexes easily clearing 100. Keim says it'll be hotter than that heat wave that hit a few weeks back.
This could very well be the worst weather we've seen, all season.
So if you're an outdoorsman or an athlete,
Bottom line, be smart, stay hydrated, avoid long periods in the sun, and dial back your exercise a bit.
Keim says the intense heat should be over by Tuesday. I'm Becca Dill.
At least 11 people have died in a boating accident in Branson, Missouri. The boat was riding tourists around Table Rock Lake when stormy weather caused it to capsize and sink. Some of the victims are said to be children. Authorities in the area are still searching for several passengers who are missing. A Shreveport man has been arrested for neglecting the care for his wife. Caddo Parish Sheriff's deputies have arrested Johnny Essery after they discovered his wife Alice unresponsive and severely malnourished on their couch. Governor John Bell Edwards has responded with a letter of his own after Attorney General Jeff Landry criticized the governor for allegedly refusing to go through with executions in the state. Edwards responded by saying that executions are not being carried out because the only drugs that the legislature has authorized for lethal injection haven't been accessible since 2010.
It's a statutory prescribed manner of death, and we have certain drugs that we have to use, and they are absolutely not available.
Landry responded to the governor's new letter on Twitter last night saying, quote, "This is simple. I support the death penalty by lethal injection, gas, hanging, firing squad. Does the governor?" The White House says discussions are already underway to invite Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington. Trump and Putin met Monday in Helsinki, and Trump later tweeted that the two leaders conferred on a range of issues, including terrorism, Israeli security, and North Korea. Trump has been under fire for publicly doubting during a joint news conference Russia's responsibility for interference in the 2016 election. Alvis Cyrus has died after a motorcycle crash with police. Webster Parish deputies attempted to pull Cyrus over for a traffic violation just before 10 p.m. Cyrus instead sped away, turning off his headlight so the deputy could not follow. A short time later, a motorcycle crash was reported. With his headlight off, Cyrus apparently missed a turn and hit several trees. And first, he stole her heart, then he stole her car. Police in Memphis say a man swiped his date's whip and then whipped over to another woman's house to take her out. The two-time victim of the two-timing car thief reported to police that her car was stolen after the man sent her into a gas station to get him some cigars. While she was inside, he took off with her ride. However, date number 2 knew date number 1 and ratted out the man as they were taking in a movie at the drive-in. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Good morning. It's 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, traffic update for Friday. Ruben's ready.
Just received reports of an accident in the left-hand lane of I-20 westbound near Airline Drive. It's starting to back traffic up right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, who is gone.
Injured.
Damaged. Damaged goods. 13 past 8 o'clock. Okay, so Erin is out today, and she is basically rehabbing from... No. It's like, who am I thinking of? I don't... Like Peyton Manning, like Tiger Woods. Maybe she'll have spinal fusion. So Erin is out today after suffering a none too minor injury, back injury, when she collided at high speed with a deer on that desolate stretch of Highway 80 in Texas between, where 59 and you turn there on Highway 80 and you come down that stretch of road and it's really dark. And look, if I wanted to live, and I mean this in a good way, if I wanted to live in what was like the middle of nowhere, and occasionally I have the urge to do so, am I within like 30 to 45 minutes of a couple of good restaurants? Can I get internet? I would love to live out in the middle of a field somewhere, like a fifth wheel, like Mel Gibson in what? In the Lethal Weapon movies, remember he's living in the camper on the beach?
Yeah.
I mean, how many pairs of pants do you need? In his case, probably only one. So the point I'm making is you're driving down that road, well, Erin was, and out of the blue comes the deer. And she swerves to hit the deer, and in her description yesterday, the car was basically the damage equivalent of James Dean's Corvette. And
you would have thought this thing went up in flames and like cold trickle. The ambulance had to come drag her out. The jaws of life.
Jaws of life. I never told you that story, or did I?
No.
About the meat wagon?
No.
Okay. You had related to us earlier this morning, and I said, what was the worst car wreck you were ever in? And you said a friend of yours, you like flipped a Firebird, a Pontiac Firebird, and went over like 7 times, landed right side up.
Yeah.
And nobody was hurt. And your quote was, if I could do that once a week and know that I wasn't going to suffer any lasting damage.
I totally would. Every time.
Why?
It was fun. I mean, once you got past like, oh my God, we're going to die. When we landed and realized, well, nothing's exploded. Nobody's hurt.
Now, it's interesting you say that. Once you get past the, oh my God, I'm going to die part. When I was working my very first radio job in Spring Hill, Louisiana, I would come home on the weekends, stay at my folks' house, hang out with friends, etc. And then I would go back to work. The way I would drive back to Spring Hill, I would go up Highway 3. And when you go through plain dealing, and I haven't been that way in a million years. Literally, this is 1972 or 73. But you would go up north on Highway 3, and then you go through plain dealing, and you would take a right turn. There was an old feed and grain store. You know the one I'm talking about? And you would take a right, and then you would go up this little hill and over some railroad tracks.
I think that's where the Piggly Wiggly is now.
And then there was like a boulevard. The street was a boulevard. It split. And it was a cold and rainy morning, and I am going up the street, and I am just crossing the railroad tracks, and there is a truck. I'm in the left lane. There's a truck in the right lane, and I'm going over the railroad tracks at about 40 or 45 miles an hour. I have a 1969 yellow Volkswagen, and the guy in this really large pickup truck, at least large for the day, he changes lanes and clips my back passenger side fender.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts to spin me out because it's a little wet and slippery. Well, as my car is spinning, this little bitty Volkswagen, it hits the curb of the boulevard of the grass median and flips over and ends up rocking on the roof. And I'm hanging. Now, understand, it's 1972. I've got hair down to my butt. I mean, I literally have shoulder-length hair and a beard. And I'm hanging upside down. Who wore their seat belts? Because we didn't have harnesses yet. Who wore their seat belts in 1972 or 73? This guy.
Lucky you.
I am hanging upside down in a fetal position. The only thing holding me in is this seat belt. Meanwhile, the Volkswagen is rocking on its roof. And I'm hanging there, and I'm looking at like my knees, and bluntly put, I'm looking at my crotch, and I'm hanging there, and the car is rocking. And all I can think is, the roof's going to give way. I'm going to get squashed. Because you can hear the rocking. And yes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, my God, it's this little bubble roof on this Volkswagen. It's going to collapse, and I'm going to die. And about 90... No, not that. I mean, it was no time at all.
It was really like 2 seconds, but it felt forever.
It was no time at all before a policeman got there. And I don't remember if it was a plain dealing policeman, if it was a state trooper. In my mind, it was a state cop because of the hat. And I'm hanging upside down. And he looks in the car, and he kind of taps on the window, and he's on his hands and knees. And he looks at me hanging upside down amidst all this hair, and he goes, "Hey, you okay in there?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I think so. Can you get me out?" And he said, quote, "Yeah, it'll be a couple of seconds. Wow, thought we were going to really have to call the meat wagon." So, Erin, traveling down Highway 80 in the middle of nowhere, clipped a deer. As you put it, the deer picked himself up, dusted himself off, thought, man, I got a stain on my pants, and headed home. Erin, meanwhile, do we have any comments, by the way, on the KEEL Facebook page? From her, she posted a photograph of the damage, which basically looks like she was in a bad hailstorm. So, any comments from listeners?
Looks like she hit a deer to me, and someone posted a picture of a John Deere tractor. Someone made mention to, it looks like it was a slow-motion fender bender between her and Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch yesterday in the parking lot.
Yikes.
So, yeah, that's what we got going on the KEEL Facebook page.
Facebook page. Feel free to take a look and comment. The photo of the tragic damage done to her vehicle is right there for you to take a look
I shed a tear.
19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Caddo Republican Party, Caddo Parish Republican Party boss sounds so, well, bossy. Louis R. Avalone joins us in just a couple of seconds. Does the Rod Demery endorsement of Leo Savage, did you hear about that? Is that important, and why? He fills us in just a couple of seconds right here on KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of an accident in the left-hand lane of I-20 westbound near Airline Drive. It's starting to back traffic up right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot today. The high of 105 will break the record of 101 last reached in 2000. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Matt just said with all that hair back then, I look like Cousin It. 22 past 8 o'clock. KEEL Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Southland Conference coaches and sports information directors voted Northwestern State 8th out of 11 schools in the football preseason poll, but they neglected the Demons completely on the all-conference team. Sam Houston State is the favorite to win the league title. The SEC preseason poll and all conference picks will be released today. American Kevin Kistner was really close to the claret jug after last year's British Open, literally. He flew home in the same private jet as winner Jordan Spieth, who traveled back to the States with a famed trophy on board. The 33rd ranked player in the world is close again this year after posting an opening round 5 under par to lead after 18 holes. Rory McIlroy was 2 under, Ricky Fowler 1 under, Tiger Woods even after the first round at Carnoustie. The second round is underway. The first-place Houston Astros open the second half of play tonight in Anaheim against the Angels after the 4-day All-Star break. Texas hosts Cleveland. The Cubs and Cardinals jump-started the action with a game last night to make up for a rained-out game earlier this season. Chicago won last night 9-6. In plain dealings, two-time state champion girls basketball coach has resigned to take another position with Bossier Parish Schools. Sheila Bryant Dupree stepped down, according to the Times' Jimmy Watson. She led the Lady Lions to back-to-back titles in 2011 and 2012. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 25 past 8 o'clock. Erin off today, back on Monday, nursing her wounds. Louis R. Avalone is the Caddo Parish Republican Party chairman. Hey, Mr. Lewis, how are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. Good Friday morning to you.
I'm looking at a Louis R. Avalone post, and it says, in reference to the Rod Demery endorsement of Leo Savage for Shreveport mayor, it says, this is a huge step forward for Shreveport. Tell us why you think this is a big deal.
Well, I think it gives credence to the feeling that everyone has in their gut that Shreveport may, in fact, be ready for a cataclysmic shift in leadership. From the old style, it's who you know and not what you know style of government. And I think it also speaks to the fact that the African-American vote in Shreveport is as diverse as any other demographic, despite the conventional wisdom that it is instead very monolithic.
Well, pardon me, Lewis, let me start with the conventional wisdom. Demery, despite being a black guy, is in fact a Republican. If that's the case, how much effect, you pay attention to stuff like this, it is what you do. How much effect in the African American community do you think that the Demery endorsement of Savage is going to have?
I think it has a significant effect. I think the fact that Demery is willing to step outside and endorse a Republican candidate, not to mention the fact how rare it is for him as an African American to be a Republican. And I've spent a lot of time talking with Rod, and he is as conservative as any conservative. He's very well versed in history of this country, what made this country great. And so I think that it does signal to a lot of folks that maybe Shreveport is ready for a different type of leadership, that it doesn't have to be the same way that it has been before. I mean, why is it okay, for example, that other groups maintain a diverse political viewpoint? I mean, whether they're Asians or Latinos or Jewish Americans, but yet when folks think about African Americans, they think they all vote alike. And I think Rod Demery's endorsement today certainly signals that those days, if that has in fact been the case in Shreveport, those days may be soon coming to an end.
We had yesterday morning, Erin and me, we had Dr. Jeff Sato from LSUS on. Dr. Jeff is certainly no liberal. And yet he said that in his opinion, in the fall election, the general election in December after the primary, he said that in his mind, it would probably be 2 Democrats in the general election. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Well, of course, I disagree to the greatest extent that I could. There are a lot of days between now and November when folks will go to the polls. And I think, if anything, Demery's endorsement today indicates that folks are thinking outside of the box. And the Republican Party welcomes diverse views, and a healthy, throw up your hands in the air debate of ideas and solutions for our community. So I think it's premature to predict exactly who's going to be in the runoff, or that it's going to be, one party in the runoff and not any from the other party. But I think more importantly, again, I think it's that folks are not looking at party, but are looking at solutions. And I think that's what Rod's endorsement today really signals to the rest of the community.
You would know this way more about this than would I. From a strategic point of view, was this the best time for the Demery endorsement, right around qualification time? And if so, why?
Well, I think that's a matter of opinion. I think it's 6 one way, half a dozen another. Obviously, a lot of folks are out of town on vacation right now. But at the same time, I think you and Matt hit upon it earlier in the morning. Folks are talking about the mayoral race. This is qualifying week. Today is the final day of qualifying for that race. So, it certainly, I think, is reasonable to make the decision to make that endorsement today. And other folks may say, no, like you had mentioned, maybe you go a little bit further into the campaign before you set that out. But I think what it also shows is that folks are anxious for change. Folks are anxious for solutions, and they're not wanting to wait. Yes, November seems like a very long time away. In actuality, it's not. But at the same time, I think it does show a sense of anxiousness on the people in Shreveport and the community's desire to get on with it and let go of the past. Again, the past of, the style of leadership of it's who you know and not what you know. And I think that both of the Republican candidates in this race represent a style of leadership that it's what you know, not who you know, that is going to lead Shreveport into the future.
Well, one more final question certainly. About sort of an extension of what you just said. This was told to me some time back, and you had made reference to what you see as a potential cataclysmic shift in the way that Shreveporters vote. Specifically, I'm inferring the African-American community. A while back, an African-American elected leader said to me, and I promised anonymity, and basically the quote was, if black unemployment ever gets below 8%, then Donald Trump will win re-election in a landslide. It's close to that, if not better than that. Do you think that the unemployment numbers, do you think employment in the minority community, given the economic philosophies of the Trump presidency, do you think that will have an effect on this mayoral race?
I think it does, and I think it goes to the question that was asked during the 2016 election to the African-American community. What do you have to lose by doing something different than you've done? In other words, by voting for someone other than a Democrat. Because voting for Democrats year after year certainly has not led to the type of prosperity. I mean, during the Obama administration, unemployment within the black community was twice what it was among the white community. So, I think that is going to play a very significant role, and I think African Americans in Shreveport may, in fact, look at this endorsement today and say, what do we have to lose by trying to vote or by voting for someone other than a Democrat, other than for whom perhaps our churches or our friends are have already decided to vote for? And I think I do think, Robert, I think you've hit it right on the nail. I think folks are ready for a change, and even though the country is experiencing a great deal of economic prosperity all over, it's not necessarily hit the Shreveport-Bossier community yet. And so I think folks are looking at that as well. And you look at all of the debt that the city has. I think folks are paying attention more to the issues than they were during the last mayoral election.
Louis R. Avalone, Chairman, Caddo Parish Republican Party. A pleasure as always, my friend. I'll see you soon for sure.
All right. Take care.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Matt has local news just a couple of seconds away. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that accident in the left-hand lane of I-20 westbound near Airline Drive. It's starting to back traffic up right now. And we have some traffic delays on Uri Drive near East Stoner Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
the updated list at KEELnews.com. A Shreveport woman sustained life-threatening injuries after authorities discovered she hadn't left the couch in months. Matt Doyle has that story.
68-year-old Alice Essery was taken to the hospital after the discovery, and Caddo Parish Sheriff spokesperson Cindy Chadwick says the deputy who discovered her called it the worst he's ever seen.
She had severe wounds. She was malnourished. She was at least 50 pounds underweight.
Her husband, 66-year-old Johnny Essery, allegedly was fully aware of the situation but didn't reach out to anyone because,
according to him, she did not want to call help herself, nor did she want anybody to call help for her.
He's been charged with cruelty to a person with infirmities. I'm Matt Doyle.
Governor John Bell Edwards has responded with a letter of his own after Attorney General Jeff Landry criticized the governor for allegedly refusing to go through with executions in the state. Edwards says his office hasn't received any communication from the AGs in over a year.
The last communication on this at all was in October of last year. So none of this makes sense, and I think the Attorney General ought to take a deep breath and just calm down a little bit.
Landry responded to the governor last night on Twitter saying, quote, "This is simple. I support the death penalty by lethal injection, gas, hanging, and firing squad." Does the governor? And the White House says discussions are already underway to invite Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington. Trump and Putin met Monday in Helsinki, and Trump later tweeted that the two leaders conferred on a range of issues, including terrorism, Israeli security, and North Korea. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
There you see, another Shreveport guy.
Kenny
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Matt had put up on the KEEL website yesterday about a 1,000-word post, and it's basically, to summarize, you ask the question, does Shreveport, does Bossier City, do we here in the Arklatex, does Shreveport appreciate specifically our vast and rich musical heritage, and do we pay homage enough to the people that have come before? And we sort of spread out from that. Kenny Wayne Shepherd is one. Do you think he gets the acclaim in his hometown that he deserves?
Absolutely not. When was the last time you heard Kenny Wayne's name other than on the radio when you hear one of his songs?
But you went beyond music. You talked about Terry Bradshaw.
Other than the Terry Bradshaw Passway, which 3132.
It's when I moved away for radio in 1972, and I would come back intermittently to visit my folks who were living in Bossier City at the time. The way that Terry Bradshaw, Super Bowl quarterback, was treated, he was pilloried in his own hometown. He's not that smart. He's not that good a quarterback. He can't play the guitar. Did you see him on Glenn Campbell the other night? He can't sing worth a damn. And he did a concert here, and as I recall, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, was either booed or it was an embarrassing return, certainly not his fault, by the people who should have been patting him on the back and giving him acclaim.
And you wonder why Shreveport has a bad rap of being a terrible place and why the people who are from here don't come back.
Stop right there. I want you to think about that, and I want you, because of the pats on the back you have gotten from listeners and on social media in the last 24 to 36 hours, I want you to expound on that. Go beyond the world of music to show business, science, education, You decide on Monday morning. I want at least a couple of minutes out of you. Be ready, okay?
All
right. Holy cow. 8:42. It's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. I'm in the habit of saying 8:39, but we're running late. And it's Friday, and Erin's not here, and show's come off the rails. I said that because I hope she's listening. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Airline Drive due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on ART Parkway near McDade Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. It's 8:44. Erin back on Monday. If you were listening yesterday, we had Dr. Jeff Sato on. I think it was 10 past 8 o'clock. And we wanted to talk to him because he had written an article that appeared in the Advocate, onlineadvocate.com in Baton Rouge. And basically the premise was, well, let me start here. Matt has so few opportunities to say I told you so. And in fact, when we read Dr. Jeff's, I think, really, really, really good article about TOPS, and basically the premise of the article was, is TOPS really delivering on the promise that it's made? Not to the students, but to the taxpayers of Louisiana. That being sort of the popular accepted statement, if you will, about TOPS is, we need TOPS to keep Louisiana's best and brightest at home.
That's always the argument you hear.
And you have said forever
that it doesn't work.
No. What you've said is, I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is, you said is, no. Louisiana's best and brightest, and this is exactly the point made by Dr. Jeff in his article. And you can hear yesterday's interview online at KEELnews.com. But I wanted to give you a chance to say publicly,
rub y'all's face in it.
I told you so. Who's disagreed with you? Certainly not this guy.
Oh, Erin has, Dr. Jim, pretty much every legislator we've ever had on the air in this studio has. Oh, no, TOPS is the most important thing. We got to figure out a way to fund it. It's the only way.
Yet the point made by you and then reiterated by Dr. Jeff is...
I think he plagiarized me, but please continue.
is basically, no, Louisiana's best and brightest, if they choose to stay in the state of Louisiana to go to school, okay. But it ain't the TOPS money. They are going to have opportunities beyond TOPS.
Oh, yeah, they're getting free rides no matter what. Like, Adrian Perkins is a great example. He was a bright young man, could have went anywhere in the world, and he chose to go to, what was it, Harvard?
United States Military Academy.
And then Harvard.
He's a West Point grad, and then from there, after he did the service to his country, he went to Harvard Law School.
But I mean, he was the best and brightest. TOPS didn't keep him here, and I'm sure if we actually looked at successful people that, went to college, it's probably a 50-50 split, and TOPS didn't factor into their decision one way or the other.
So the point I was going to make was, I was going to make was, and this is a point that I have made a number of times, a meme that a fellow named Chris Woods put on my Facebook page not too long ago. And it shows a woman thinking, hand on chin. And it says, why are tuition and healthcare prices so high? But let's focus on tuition. Why are tuition prices so high? If I knew, it says, the government was giving out money, I'd raise my prices too. And the point we had made a whole bunch of times with Dr. Jeff yesterday, with Dr. Jim on this radio station. Right now, we are shelling out listen to me now, guys, $300 million a year to pay for TOPS.
That's a lot of dough, baby.
And according to Dr. Jeff and Matt, it's not for the great majority going to Louisiana's best and brightest. So we have to decide, and I said this to Dr. Jim a while back and Dr. Jeff yesterday, where is the evidence over the past quarter of a century or more that college tuition is not going to continue to increase at a radical rate? And at some point, we're going to have to decide, is $300 million enough? Is $350 million enough? At what point is funding the college tuition of, bluntly put, low-end to middle-of-the-road Louisiana students become too expensive? That's a choice we're going to have to make. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, AccuWeather.com forecast, sunny and hot today, low hundreds. It's 83 at KEEL.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
Mikhail Saakashvili, the former president of Georgia, wrote an op-ed in the Federalist saying that Donald Trump has been much harder on Russia than Barack Obama ever was, that Obama had the reset button, promised he'd have more flexibility with Russia after the election, told Mitt Romney that the 1980s were calling and they wanted their foreign policy back, whereas Donald Trump has put in sanctions and authorized the sale of lethal weapons to Ukraine. Instead of focusing on what Donald Trump is saying, the media needs to focus on what he's actually doing.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Abalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, Miss Erin back on Monday. Have you been following the Scarlett Johansson story?
No,
And
you've been giving me updates.
I don't remember if we did this on the radio or not. Scarlett Johansson was going to star in a movie called, and I wince at saying the title, but it was going to be called Tug and Pull. I think that's the name of it, something similar to that. And it was basically about a trans man. She was going to play a transgender male.
Uh-huh.
And the outcry from the LGBT community, specifically the trans community, was so great that she backed out of the project.
I thought she was back in.
No, she's out. And now it looks like the movie will not be made. The point being, they said, if you're going to make this movie, you should hire a real trans man to play the part. Oh, how much time do I have here?
You got a couple minutes.
God, I got to change topics completely. Oh, my God. Well, not completely. Here's how politically correct in America we have come. I was going to talk about Scarlett Johansson and some other stuff, but I'm not.
Okay.
Here's how politically correct in America we have become. There's an actress named Amy Landecker, and she is on, what's the Jeffrey Tambor show before he got fired? Was it Transparent?
Oh, the Amazon Prime show, right?
Yes, exactly. And in the show, Tambor played a trans female, okay? I.e., a man transitioning. Okay. In an interview talking about the show, here's how PC we are. She said, I play the daughter whose parent becomes a trans woman. And I said, wait a second. If your parent, pardon me, a trans woman, that sort of narrows it down to it was your dad. And yet we have become so PC in our culture, especially the Hollywood culture, that in reference to transgender people, you can say trans man, but now you're not allowed anymore to say that this person was once a woman. Isn't that bizarre? As though your birth gender, if you will, has ceased to exist. Damn. Back Monday morning, 6 till 9, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando.
It's easy to become complacent as we get news of yet another data breach. So let's reassess how dangerous these things really have become. Kim Commando with your Friday Consumer Tech Update. At this very moment, tens of millions of hackers, some working for governments, some for terrorists, and others just plain thieves, are all launching billions of different online attacks. Criminals are flooding the login screens with email addresses and passwords stolen in other, more recent data breaches as they try to gain access. 58% of all attempted logins to online banking systems are hackers trying to steal passwords, account numbers, money, and credit cards. For the airlines, that number is 60%. Frequent flyer miles here are the target. For online retailers, the percentage rises to an incredible 90%. Only 10% are legitimate shoppers. The message is clear. You must have different passwords for all your online accounts. I'm Kim Commando.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Weekday morning, 6 till 9.
Is it a tiff between Governor John Bel Edwards and State Attorney General Jeff Landry? What's the deal? And it has to do...
So they're in this, what do men do when they get in a dispute?
They have a throwing contest.
That's what they're having. They're having a throwing contest.
I'm here for you.
And they both want to know whose ball is bigger.
Start your day with Robert and Erin in the morning. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
It's 8:59, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. The Keel app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Time for one more look at traffic just ahead of Fox News. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Airline Drive due to a major accident. And we have reports of a minor accident on Marshall Street near Travis Street. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, another scorching hot day today. Sunshine with a record-breaking high of 105. Warm with clear to partly cloudy skies, low 78 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
I got a tea time for 1 o'clock this afternoon. Do you think this is bad planning? Right now it's 83 at Keel, 9 o'clock. Fox News time.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.